Hello, student. In today's session, we start new chapter, chapter number 7, Wave Optics from the syllabus of 12th standard, Maharashtra State Board. The chapter number 7 is Wave Optics. Now here, this Wave Optics chapter having a weightage of 5 marks without option and with option 7 marks in the final board exam. So 5 mark without option and with option 7 mark. So definitely you can see 7 mark question on this chapter in the final examination. So very important chapter. Now let's see what is in this chapter. Basically, the first we have to learn about theories of light. So in that, Newton's corpuscular theory and Huygens wave theory we have to learn. So basically, different theories was predicted to explain the nature of light. So the question is, which theories explain the properties of light? So these theories we have to cover here. There are many theories to explain properties of light. So here, there are 5 major theories here. So out of that, the main 2 we are covering here. And it is Newton's corpuscular theory and Huygens wave theory of light. We can see shortly other theories. The first theory was Newton's corpuscular theory. It was proposed by scientist Newton. Now, what is the Newton's corpuscular theory? So Newton in that theory explained the nature of light. Now let's see Newton's corpuscular theory. According to this theory, light consists of tiny elastic material particles, and these particles are called as corpuscles. Corpuscles means particle, that you remember, tiny particles. So according to Newton, light is a particle, tiny particles. Now these corpuscles enter our eye and affect our retina to create a sensation of vision. You know that when light enter in our eye, we feel a sensation of light. So that's it only. Now you know that when light enter in our, we feel the sensation of light. Different colors, you know that different colors are there. Now here, according to the Newton's corpuscular theory, different colors are due to different shapes and size of particles or corpuscles, we can say that. So here you can see here the blue color because the larger size of the particle. So here yellow color means different sizes and shapes of the corpuscles causes a different colors. This theory will explain reflection and refraction. Whatever the basic concept related to the light means in that we can consider reflection, refraction, rectilinear propagation. This concept explained by Newton's corpuscular theory. Now let's see drawback. So here we learn what is in the Newton corpuscular theory. Now let's see a drawback. So this Newton's corpuscular theory was failed because of some severe drawbacks. These drawbacks we have to cover here. Now first one, light consists of corpuscles. Light is a matter. Then you know that due to continuous emission should decrease the mass of source of light. If it is a bulb we are considering, so bulb continuously emit light. It means that bulb continuously emit particles. Then mass of the bulb must decrease. But we can see a mass of bulb is not changing with the time also. So this is a severe drawback. So another drawback. According to this theory, light travel faster in denser medium than rare medium. But you know that light is faster in rare and slower in denser. But according to the Newton, so we get a different conclusion, which is a wrong. So here, this conclusion proved wrong by the scientist Foucault. So this is a drawback. Now, third, the concept of interference, diffraction, polarization could not be explained. This concept, we have to learn interference, diffraction and polarization in another chapter. But you remember these concepts are not explained by considering light as a particle. So this theory failed to explain these concepts. This theory could not explain partial reflection, partial refraction. So this concept also unable to explain. So these are the drawbacks. The second theory was, so before going towards the second theory, so some merits also there. Merits of this Newton's corpuscular theory. And the merits are the first and very important merit. This theory explained rectilinear propagation. The rectilinear propagation of light means light travel in a straight line. This is called as rectilinear propagation. This is explained by Newton. Second merit is, according this Newton's corpuscular theory explained photoelectric effect, Raman effect, and Compton effect. So this explains photoelectric effect. So this is merit of this Newton's corpuscular theory. But because of some severe drawback, this theory was failed, and this theory replaced by the second theory, and it is given by scientist Huygens, Christian Huygens. Now let's see the assumptions of this theory. According to this Huygens, light travel in the form of wave. Light travel in the form of wave. Means this theory is also called as Huygens wave theory. So for Newton's theory, we called it Newton's corpuscular theory because light is a corpuscle. So this theory also called as Huygens wave theory. So light travel in the form of waves. In previous day, in starting days, he considered light is a longitudinal. So light is a wave basically, you remember. Later on, this concept was replaced, but in starting days, Huygens considered that light is a longitudinal. Now, for light to propagate, for light to propagate, a medium is required. And then he given the explanation. You know that sunlight is traveling from the vacuum and then reach to the earth. Then if light is a wave, in older days, if a light is a longitudinal wave, then it requires a medium for its propagation. Then to explain that, Huygens considered imaginary medium. And that imaginary medium is luminiferous ether. And he assumed that this luminiferous ether medium exists all over the universe. This medium exists. And because of this medium, light propagates. Okay. Now let's see third point, the different colors. According to Newton, different colors are because of different size and shape of particles. But according to the Huygens, different colors of light are because of different wavelength. So light having a different wavelength, and because of that, it has a different colors. Now fourth one. This theory could explain partial reflection and partial refraction. It explains interference and diffraction. So which this previous theory unable to explain. Now you can see some color lights: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. These are the different colors. So here the different colors are because of different wavelength. You know that violet having a less wavelength. So that much distance is the wavelength. You can see for this, that much distance is a wavelength. So wavelength for red is more as compared to the wavelength of violet. The sequence, we can remember the sequence is from violet to red. Now, Huygens, in that Huygens theory, the fifth assumption, the light travel faster in red, not in denser. According to the Newton, light travel faster in denser, which was wrong. But here, according to the Huygens, light travel faster in rare, not in denser medium. So this is a merit. This is the advantage of this thing. So you know that rare medium, denser medium. Rare means whose density is less density medium. Denser means more density medium. You can see This in this case, glass is a denser and air is a rare medium. Now let's see drawbacks. The first drawback, rectilinear propagation could not be. So in the merits of Newton's theory, I told you it explained rectilinear propagation of light. But this rectilinear propagation of light, this theory unable to explain. Now next one. Luminiferous ether could not found anywhere. All attempt to detect this luminiferous ether medium was failed. So here, no one able to detect this luminiferous ether. This is a drawback of this. Now third, could not explain modern physics concept like photoelectric effect. I told you by considering Newton's corpuscular theory, we can explain this photoelectric effect. But by Huygens theory, we are unable to explain photoelectric effect, Raman effect, Compton effect. Now next theory, Maxwell electromagnetic theory that we have to see. So Maxwell electromagnetic theory. Maxwell postulated the existence of electromagnetic. Light waves were assumed to be electromagnetic. Light is an electromagnetic wave. So if it is electromagnetic, does not require medium, that you know that. For propagation of electromagnetic waves, electric field and magnetic field are required. So you can see an electromagnetic wave. So this is electric field component we are shown by red and magnetic field component by blue. Okay, this is the nature of the light. It has electric and magnetic field components. So this is the electromagnetic wave. Electric and magnetic field components are shown in diagram. So they are electric and magnetic field component changes with the time. Then Maxwell's electromagnetic theory. This theory could explain a rectilinear path of light, reflection, refraction, polarization, interference, diffraction, etc. Limitations for this theory. This theory could not explain modern physics concept like photoelectric effect. Again, here the limitation is it does not explain photoelectric effect. The next theory is Einstein's quantum theory. Now, according to this, light propagated in the form of packets of light. So light is packets of light, and these packets of lights are called as quantum. Each quantum of light called photon and having an energy E is equal to h. So where h is the Planck's constant, mu is the frequency. Now here we have to consider this Einstein's quantum theory and we have to explain photoelectric effect in another chapter. Now, third one, this theory could explain photoelectric effect. So this theory explains photoelectric effect, and Einstein explained this photoelectric effect by using this quantum theory. So theoretically, Einstein explained this photoelectric effect, and that photoelectric effect we have to learn in another chapter. Limitations. It's also having limitation. This theory could not explain concept like polarization, interference, diffraction. Again, this also having a limitation. Now, so before going for the next concept, you remember here. And some theory explain photoelectric effect, some unable to explain. So later on, it is found that light having a dual nature. So as per the concept, we have to use that nature. Means when we want to explain this interference, diffraction, we have to consider light is a wave and then we able to explain the nature. We able to explain this concept by considering light as a wave. But when we want to explain interference, we cannot consider, means if we consider light is a wave, we cannot explain the interference concept. So for that, we have to consider light is a particle. So light having a, later on it is invented that light having a dual nature. That also we have to learn in another chapter. So according to the concept which you want to explain, we have to consider the nature of the light. So next concept. So in the next, we have to learn concept of wavefront. Now what is wavefront basically? So wavefront, if I consider a point source, so it emit light in all possible direction. You can see it emit light. Then in time t, it cover a distance ct. A light cover a distance ct. Now, if you draw a circle by considering this point source as a center and radius equal to ct. So this is a distance c. So then that surface is called as wavefront. So you can see. So this is a wavefront. Now let's see definition of the wavefront. So if you see all the points of the wavefront, all the points of the wavefront having a same phase, that also you remember. So here on the wavefront here, whatever, if it is coming trough, then on this part also it is coming trough. So all the points of the wavefront having the same phase. So this is a point source. Now, so this is a wavefront. You can see wavefront. So wavefront is what? So that we have to learn here. So it is locus of all the points in a medium. So where light wave reach simultaneously. So if I consider this is a point source, so light waves are traveling in all possible directions. So I consider in time t a light cover a distance ct. So how we get ct? So you know that velocity is distance by time. So distance is velocity into time. If time is t, then distance is ct. Now if I consider this point source as a center and if I draw a circle with the radius ct, then we get a collection of these points. So at these points, wave reach simultaneously because up to this point source to the point A, it take time t. Up to point B also it take time t. Up to point C also it take time t. So distances are c. Now here, wave reach simultaneously at these points from a single source, means from point source, such that these particle vibrate in same phase. I told you in the previous article also. So here, if it is creased, then here also we get a creast of light wave. So here also we get creased. Means we get same state of vibration at the wavefront as well as same phase means, or we can say that same frequency also and amplitude also. So this is a definition of this wavefront. You can go through this. I hope the concept about the wavefront is clear. So wavefront is imaginary surface basically to which wave reach simultaneously, or it is a locus means the collection of particles or the points in a medium. So where wave reach simultaneously so that it has the same phase, same amplitude, same frequency. Now let's see types of wavefront. So basically there are three types of the wavefront. In that the first one is spherical wave. So I consider a point source. This may be a bulb. At finite distance, you can see it emit light in all possible direction. I can show a forward direction light. So at finite distance, we get this is spherical wavefront. You can see this spherical wavefront. This is spherical wavefront. This is also spherical wavefront. So these are the spherical wavefronts. So spherical wavefront we get from point source and we get it at finite distance, that you remember. Because at infinite distance, when we are talking about infinite distance, so this is a spherical wavefront. So I can draw here a spherical wavefront. Now portion of this spherical wavefront at large distance, it is like a plane wavefront. So that also we have to learn later. Second type is plane wavefront. Again, point source we have to consider. And the point source I am considering sun as a point source. You can consider any, then this is a spherical wavefront at finite distance spherical. So here this is spherical wavefront, but as distance is larger, then we can say that this is a spherical portion, but small portion of spherical wavefront is looks like a plane. So this is a plane wavefront. So plane wavefront is formed by again point source but at infinitely large distance. By point source at finite distance, spherical. So distance infinite. So you remember point source, any source is written, but point source is or any source you can consider. But at infinitely large distance, we get a plane wavefront. Now next and third type of the wavefront is cylinder. You can see here slit type of sources. Basically, slit means you can see a tube light, or you can see a same picture here. If this is a this is again a cardboard and it has this type of gap, this type of cutting. Then this is a gap. This is called a slit. So slit type of source produces a cylindrical wave. So when we are talking about this linear source, then this I consider this point it emit light in all possible direction. Then similar manner, all the points emit light in all possible direction. So here also. Then when we are talking about a wavefront, it like a cylinder-like structure. So this is cylindrical wavefront. Again here, linear source, extended source produces cylindrical wavefront, and distance is finite. It produces at finite distance. If distance is infinite, then it is a plane wavefront. That remember. Any type of the source we are considering at infinitely large distance, it produces a plane wave. Now here, you remember points, some points about the wavefront. Spherical wavefront, point source, and finite distance. Now next one. Plane wavefront, again, point source, and infinitely large distance. Or any source we can consider an infinitely large distance. Now third one. Cylindrical wavefront is means extended source, linear source, line source, we can say that, and distance, finite distance. You can see a diagram. So that much is the cylindrical wavefront. So here diagrams are shown for every type of the wavefront. Now classification of this wavefront we already learned: spherical, then it is at finite distance. So when a point source is at some small finite distance, the wave surface often is spherical, and part of this is called as spherical wavefront. Plane wavefront, when a source is at infinite distance, the portion of wave surface appears to be plane, so it is called as plane wavefront. Then cylindrical. When a slit or linear source of light is used, the part of the wave surface often appears to be part of cylinder and is called as cylindrical wavefront. You can see a diagram. So this is a source. We can we can draw a source in the middle. Then we get a cylinder-like structure, and part is called as a cylindrical wavefront. Now concept of wave normal. Now wavefront is clear. Now wave normal. Now what is wave normal? So basically wave normal is similar to the ray of light. So perpendicular drawn, listen, perpendicular drawn at any point to the surface of wavefront, which shows the direction of propagation of light, is called wave normal. Now this is the wavefront, you can see. And if I draw a perpendicular line, so this is a perpendicular line, so 90-degree angle. So this is called as wave normal. Wave normal means perpendicular to the surface of wavefront. And this is very important, in the direction of propagation of light. In the direction of propagation of light is called as wave normal. Types of wave normal. Again, we can see that wave normal to the spherical wavefront, wave normal to the plane wavefront, wave normal to the this cylindrical wavefront.